guys, welcome back to the channel. So another little top-up prepping haul, but with a little bit of a difference. In this one today, I have kind of concentrated, not deliberately, but concentrated on filling up the freezer with meat, because we have been obviously told that the prices of meat are going to be going through the roof. To be fair, we're all aware that prices on many things, pretty much everything now in a supermarket, went up in price by quite a lot. The other thing I really noticed is actually availability of a cheaper branded products, things like the cheaper tins or things like a cheap tomato puree, which I couldn't find today. So nonetheless, right, we all know, guys, what's happening. So a few other things to say. Apparently, okay, we've been threatened again with the price of the tin or shortages of the tin as per metal because of the current things what's happening with the tariffs. Apparently the tin's going to be going through the roof. So that's meaning, and we've been given a warning, that anything that's in a tin basically is going to be going up in price, the same as a tin foil. So this was one of the reasons I popped out today, is to get some cheapish tins and to get some foil. So I'm going to start with the home bargains, because this is where currently and for the past quite a while the cheapest tin foil. They selling a 30-meter tin foil for £1.99, and this is a fairly a-okay quality tin foil, not like the rubbish you get from Lidl that literally tears as soon as you touch it or breathe at it. Nonetheless, they do them in a shorter length of 79p per 10 meter. Okay, but obviously that works out a little bit better. So yeah, £1.99 for 30 meters now, it's a really good price. So if you are lacking a little bit of the tinfoil preparedness for your prepper pantry, I suggest you pop in and get some now, because chances are this probably will jump to like £1, £1.40 even potentially when the things happen and things be actioned. Anyway, so another thing, right, in the home bargains, and this is why I love the home bargains, when you do find some bits and bobs that are kind of just arrive there and then they quickly disappear. So they have, right, the toothpaste, okay? So this one here apparently retails at like £11, and I did buy one before to try it, and it seems to be very good. They have like 4 options of them, and this was £2.49. You suddenly might think, well, actually, this is rather expensive for a toothpaste, but this is actually a larger size. It is pretty much double it's 205 grams, where normally, if you think normal toothpaste you get, they are 75 grams or 75 milliliters. So this is like a big size tube. So for £2.49, it's really good, and it's a really good toothpaste as well. So, right, another thing then, I popped into the Tesco's, and for any of you who's waiting for the Easter meats, the Tesco's are now doing their meats at a reduced price. And this one here, the beef, large roasting joint, it's at £6.25 per kilo, which is kind of a good one. So I've got the big one here. This is going to be done, converted into some biltong, or beef jerky, in fact, because that's the only time I do it twice a year, when a beef goes half price from around December time and around Easter time. And beef jerky is a great prepper item. It keeps, if you dry properly, for many months in the airtight container. So this is something I'll be doing later on this afternoon. And of course, then I popped in again in Tesco's and picked up some tins. So tomatoes, they're still currently 45p. Again, I haven't seen their bottom line of the tomatoes there neither. But nonetheless, the expensive brands are there, tons of them. But who's going to be, or who can afford to pay over £1 for a tin of tomatoes, which I think is really crazy. Anyway, I've got one baked beans and sausages, so they're still 50p. I've got some more baked beans, still holding out at 28 pence, which is good. And they don't have the pull top, which is good for a longer term storage. Beans, I've got the mixed ones, okay, in the vinaigrette again. They are 85p. You might have seen there are shortages of beans in some Tesco's, and the Tesco's for some reason can't explain why. Apparently there's a massive hoo-ha on social media that apparently, you know, Tesco's don't have all the availability of their beans. And there's a little thing saying, oh, sorry, it's temporary out of stock due to unforeseen circumstances. So nonetheless, they had that. So I've got 2 of them. I've got 4 of those little tinned ring spaghetti things at 19 pence still, which is really good. And I've got a tin of peach slices, which are 39p. So just thinking with the prices of tins and tin as in the metal, it's pretty much easy to see that I think things like this will probably jump a good 10p minimum. And if you think about it, 10 pence will be pretty much a 50% jump. This is if that happens, or in fact, when it's going to happen anyway. But nonetheless, right, another thing. So as you know, I always pick up some oats because I do make the oat bars at home. And again, they're good for long-term storage. They are now jumped from 90 pence to 99p. I don't know whether Lidl's changed because generally they all kind of the same, but they are literally, yeah, gone up pretty much, well, 9 pence. So 10% increase, which is, well, this is what's happening currently anyway. So yeah, pasta, got spaghetti, 28 pence. I picked up a couple of them, still holding another price. I've got pack of salted cashews. Again, nuts are really good for obviously long-term storage, and obviously with the government preparedness, that kind of thing, telling us to have things that are ready to eat. They're really good as a little snack and a boost of energy. And this is, again, the reason why I picked up some of those. I always tell you guys, dry things like, you know, cheese sticks, twists, whatever kind of thing, the breadsticks, they are really, really good to have in your pantry for an emergency. Or you need just some of that, a little bit of so pate from the jar, that kind of thing, and you've got yourself not so healthy, but snack nonetheless if there's no energy, that kind of thing. But again, we'll cover that on a different video, as some of you are expecting and somebody wanted me to do. And the last bit, sorry, I missed in Tesco's, is the rice pudding. I still 25p, which is not too bad. So nonetheless, right, the other bit, right, that was in Asda. And I'm luckily enough, again, to pop in there to be able to see literally their reduced section was full. And I mean full. There are 3 or 4 shelves full of stuff, and they put like milks and other prepared meals, pizzas, that kind of thing on the top, and then you got the meats on the bottom. And I found it rather strange that all the best things are like the cheapest things, and really good ones are normally just rammed at the back. I don't know why, but it's a bit ironic nonetheless. Okay, don't feel, you know, if you go shopping, don't feel ashamed to sort of have a ram it through, because you can pick up an absolute bargains. And again, I always say the freezer preparedness, guys, is still part of the preparedness. Don't disregard this. Yes, if the energy goes out for a very long time, you potentially can lose all your meats unless you have a solar backups like we do. Nonetheless, though, our solar backup, no way going to keep all the fridges or freezers going. So nonetheless, though, okay, we're hoping this is not going to happen, and still having the meat in the freezer when you can pick it up on the deal is a very, very good idea, because prices will be going up. And as some of you already noticed, a lot of prices on meats already has gone up. So if you do see a deal, pick it up. And I did. So I'll go through that briefly for you. So pork mince. Okay, don't really do a lot of the pork mince, but nonetheless, to make some meatballs, that kind of thing, not bad. So this one here is half a kilo, and it was reduced to £1.40. Like £1.40, okay? This is easily will serve with a proper addition of pulses, that kind of thing, vegetables, easily serve our family of 3 as a 1 meal. So £1.40 is really good. I'm just going to repackage that, vacuum seal that, and it goes in the freezer. Chicken slices, right? Not too much of a bargain, but they're reduced to £1.94 from £3.28. Okay, not a huge amount, but I'm going to be making homemade chicken nuggets for my little one, because we don't really buy the stuff that you buy in the freezer. They're A, very expensive, and then B, they've got other additives that we don't want. So at some point I'll do the video, but nonetheless, 400 grams for £1.94. So there we are. Right, then I've got my favorite sausages again. They are the exceptional range from Asda, and I love their range. Their range is really good, like really good. So there are 6 Lincolnshire sausages here, reduced from £2.98 to £1.55, and we'll have 6 sausages there. So that's really good. Again, I've got 2 of them. Okay, so it's, again, it will serve us per one sort of meal for all 3 of us. Okay, so then I was deliberating, thinking whether or not to bother, but they have the beef mince, right? Because, you know, they've introduced the vacuum packaging type thing. It's kind of neat, fits in the freezer perfectly. Anyway, the packages now, obviously they shrinkflated them. So it's 250 grams, but it was reduced to £1.63 from £2.58. And I thought, as individual portions, I suppose it's not bad. You can make, you know, kind of a nice burger out of that big one. So nonetheless, I picked 2 of them, gonna shove them in the freezer. Happy days. Those, right, steaks. I picked up some before, luckily from them. It's a little bit more of a luxury thing, okay? It's not something that you kind of feed yourself on a daily basis, really, unless you can afford to. But they reduced pretty much from £6.74, both of them, to £3.64 for a 21-day matured ribeye. And it is 227 grams, okay? So not too bad. Not, as I said, the best of the deals because they are generally expensive, but nonetheless, a couple of those for the freezer. It's good. Right, again, the exceptional range pork chops with like a cutlets, really, with the bone in. Just look at the size of that pork chop. They are absolutely huge. So original price is £5, and they were reduced to £2.60. So this is one is more than plenty for a serving. So yeah, I got a couple of them. I think it's absolutely bargain, and they are actually really do taste night and day difference from the normal pork chop. They've got a bone in there. It cooks better. It doesn't dry out so much. It's honestly really, really nice. Right, and my final pièce de résistance was the duck. This is what was hiding at the back of the shelf. And I'm like, I got to fight with the freezer to find the room to fit those guys in, I think. I have to have a move around between the freezers to see what I can do. But nonetheless, okay. The whole duck, they're 2 kilos each. They're huge, right? And, right, this was reduced to £4.41. Both the same, £4.41. You can't even buy a large chicken for that price now. Okay, the chickens are like over £5, and you've been lucky enough to find a large chicken that actually weighs 2 kilos. This is a proper large bird. I'm like, yes, I've got one. I thought, you know what? I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to find a space in one of the freezers and get it in there. I thought generally for the Easter coming up, I think I might be having lamb, but I love duck, and the roasted duck is absolutely amazing. So we might be having roast duck at Easter. We'll see how that goes. So nonetheless, guys, I think that's pretty much covered my little shopping thing today. As I said, it's not really the huge one in terms of the prepper pantry thing, but again, to me, the foil is absolute must to stock up on, and obviously a few things like beans, you know, really cheap things, is a good one as well. So there we are. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know you guys from across the pond love to see the prices of, you know, meats and that kind of thing. And I gotta just say to you guys that it doesn't happen all the time when you do get the deals like that. It's quite often you don't have the best of things left. You normally have some pre-processed meals, that kind of thing, maybe going cheapish. But when you get a decent cut of meat, that kind of thing, or whole bird for almost half price, I think it's absolutely brilliant. So anyway, yes, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.